Right now, in Southern California, there is this massive multi-million dollar waterfront renovation
Oh,
happening.
yeah, heavy machinery everywhere.
Exactly. I mean, new docks are being floated into place, millions of dollars in infrastructure being laid down. But the first tenants to move into this pristine, brand new real estate, they aren't billionaires with luxury yachts.
No, definitely not. It's actually 600-pound California sea lions.
Right.
It is the ultimate hostile takeover by nature, and they absolutely do not care about the zoning permits.
They really don't. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are taking you straight to the Channel Islands Harbor in Oxnard, California.
Which is going through some major changes right now.
Huge changes. Usually when a waterfront undergoes this scale of modernization,
Hmm.
you see like high chain link fences, detour signs, and the whole space is just completely shut down for years until some grand ribbon cutting.
Right, the classic construction dead zone.
Yeah, but looking through this massive stack of development blueprints, local updates, and event schedules, something entirely different is happening here.
It really is a phenomenal case study in urban planning. I mean, the harbor is actively transforming into a highly modernized destination, but the local economy, the wildlife, the daily recreation, none of it has skipped a beat.
It's seamless. So our mission today is to unpack exactly how this classic waterfront is pulling off this modernization without losing its soul.
Hmm.
And more importantly, we're going to map out why you should absolutely plan to spend an entire day down at the harbor right now today to watch it grow. Because, waiting until a project like this is quote-unquote finished means missing out on the most dynamic part of the story.
Totally agree.
Okay, let's unpack this. How do you completely overhaul the bones of a working harbor without shutting down the water?
What's fascinating here is how a working waterfront manages to modernize its infrastructure without losing its historical soul or shutting down its daily life. To understand why those sea lions feel so comfortable moving into an active construction zone, we really have to look at how this development is physically structured.
So it's not just a bulldozer approach then.
Exactly. If you look at the physical blueprint, you see these targeted strategic upgrades. Take the Bahia Marina, for example. They just completed construction on additional boat docks and slips in February.
And it isn't just empty infrastructure waiting for a grand opening either. It's already filling up with boaters.
Fast, too.
Yeah, but what caught my eye in these sources is the specific type of vessels they're bringing in. They've got the Mystic Whaler talking there now.
That is such a crucial detail. The Mystic Whaler is a 110-foot, two-mast schooner.
Wow, so it's massive.
Oh, yeah. It's a massive tall ship that runs tours and educational programs. So, right alongside this brand new, highly engineered, modern docking infrastructure, you have a literal flagship of maritime history.
It acts as an anchor tenant, right? You don't just build a new marina and hope people show up to look at the concrete.
Right. No one wants to do that.
You bring in a 110-foot historical schooner, and suddenly you have cultural tourism woven directly into the new development.
Precisely. It creates this incredible visual and educational contrast, but you can't build a modern destination just on bow slips and tall ships.
Right, you need more than that.
Yeah, to bring people down for the whole day, to really anchor the local economy, they need places to stay and things to do on land. And the scale of what is coming is massive. Like at the end of Peninsula Road, there is heavy machinery already on site for a new hotel.
Now, I want to push back on this a bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Because when I read new waterfront hotel, my mind immediately goes to gentrification and walled-off beaches. The plans detail a 210-room, four-story, all-suite destination hotel.
Hmm.
Historically, when developers drop a 210-room block of concrete on a coastline, it prices out the locals and creates a barrier between the community and the water. Does this just become an exclusive compound for tourists?
It is a completely valid concern, and it's usually the fatal flaw of coastal redevelopment. But the architectural intent detailed in these plans focuses heavily on what urban planners call permeability.
Permeability, meaning it's open.
Exactly. This isn't designed to be a fortress. The blueprints include a rooftop bar, a public restaurant, event spaces, and a massive open plaza. The strategy is to manipulate foot traffic so that the hotel acts as a vibrant community hub.
Okay, so they want locals walking through the plaza, dining at the restaurant, mixing with the out-of-towners.
Yes. They're basically forcing that interaction through design.
So it's designed to draw the public in rather than keep them out.
Mm.
I can see how that changes the dynamic. But the project that really stopped me in my tracks when reading through our sources is what's happening to the old fisherman's village.
Oh, Carl's Village.
Yes, they are transforming this aging, mostly vacant area into something called Carl's Village.
Hmm.
And I have to be honest, the concept sounds, well, chaotic.
It does sound a little wild at
A
first.
German-inspired, strawberry-themed maritime village with an indoor market and light rides. How does that even work? That sounds like four completely different puzzle pieces jammed together by a committee.
I completely understand the skepticism. On paper, German Strawberry Maritime Village sounds like a random assortment of ideas.
Right.
But you have to look at the underlying mechanics of modern retail. We are living in the era of experiential retail. You cannot just build another outdoor strip mall with a few clothing stores and expect people to spend their entire Saturday there.
Yeah, people want an experience now.
Exactly. Modern tourism relies heavily on immersive, narrative-driven environments.
Okay, I get the need for a narrative, but why strawberries and Germany? How does that connect to a California boating harbor?
Because it bridges a massive gap between the region's local identity and a proven international business model. You have to remember the context of Ventura County.
Which is huge for farming.
Right. Oxnard and the surrounding areas are famously agricultural. They are an absolute global powerhouse for strawberries. The Carl's concept, which has been highly successful over in Germany, takes that core agricultural identity and scales it up. Yeah, it blends the local farming heritage with the existing maritime culture of the harbor to create a cohesive themed village.
So it's less of a traditional shopping center and more of an 11-acre micro-theme park.
Exactly. It's an eat, play, shop concept designed with central indoor markets, handmade food experiences, and playgrounds. By leaning into the strawberry agriculture, it grounds the development in the local reality.
That makes a lot more sense now.
It re-energizes the area into a social and economic engine that serves the locals buying fresh goods, while simultaneously giving tourists a highly specific, memorable experience.
It gives families a reason to stay for 5 hours instead of 45 minutes.
Exactly.
But here's the friction point. With all this massive development, hotels, 11-acre villages, new marinas, what happens to the infrastructure? Specifically, parking.
The parking question.
Because, honestly, the quickest way to ruin a great day out is circling a crowded lot for an hour and then paying $20 for the privilege of leaving your car.
That is a critical logistical hurdle, and it's exactly what Harbor Director Michael Tripp is addressing right now. The parking lot improvements along Harbor Boulevard on the west side are actively underway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Phase 1 is replacing the lots from the Channel Islands Yacht Club all the way to Barracuda Way. They are upgrading the sidewalks and ensuring everything meets modern ADA compliance so the space is truly accessible.
And the detail that genuinely shocked me in this update, the parking remains free for the public.
Which is huge.
That is almost unheard of for a modernizing California waterfront.
Yeah.
When you're pouring millions into 210-room hotels, the temptation to monetize the asphalt must be overwhelming.
Oh, for sure, but it is a brilliant long-term economic strategy. By keeping the parking free, they lower the barrier to entry. Free parking ensures a constant, frictionless stream of foot traffic.
That makes sense.
And that constant foot traffic is what sustains the local restaurants, the retail shops in Carl's Village, and the charter boats. They are prioritizing the macroeconomy of the harbor over the micro-revenue of parking meters.
And that concept of accessibility transitions perfectly into the next major aspect of this deep dive. Because, while human tourists are waiting for the heavy machinery to finish the hotels or for the new harbor administration building to be built in 2028.
The harbor's oldest locals have already moved in.
Yes, we mentioned them at the top of the show.
The wildlife.
Right. Safe Harbor's Anacapa Isle Marina also finished its reconstruction in February.
Mm-hmm.
The docks are pristine, the infrastructure is state-of-the-art, but human boaters haven't fully moved in yet. Instead, the docks are occupied almost exclusively by California sea lions and local marine birds.
Just sunbathing on the new wood?
They saw premium, newly built waterfront real estate and just claimed it.
It is actually a great indicator of water quality, believe it or not.
Wait, really?
Yeah, marine animals actually prefer new docking infrastructure because there is less biofouling, and the upgraded designs often allow for better water flow and cleaner currents underneath.
Nature always finds a way to optimize an upgrade. And it isn't just the sea lions lounging on the docks. If you take a walk around the Seabridge community at the north end of the harbor, which, by the way, has these incredible free public harbor walks and playgrounds, the moon jellyfish have returned.
Oh, that is such a cool event.
Our sources note this is a phenomenon that only happens about every 5 years.
Right. The cyclical nature of the moon jellyfish is tied to complex ocean temperature cycles and nutrient upwellings off the coast.
So it's pretty rare.
Very. They stick around for a few months, and because of the pedestrian infrastructure at Seabridge, you can literally look over the edge of the public path and watch this massive natural migration happening right below you.
It is a phenomenal time to be down there if you're a nature lover. Which brings us to an incredible intersection of marine wildlife and community science.
Yes.
The Channel Islands Maritime Museum is hosting their speaker series on Thursday, April 16th at 6 o'clock. And side note, if you haven't been to this museum, you need to go.
Highly recommend it.
They house 400-year-old maritime artwork and a literal replica of Admiral Lord Nelson's coat from the Battle of Trafalgar.
It's wild.
But back to the science.
Yes, so the upcoming speaker is marine researcher Molly Morse from the Benioff Ocean Science Lab at UC Santa Barbara, and her work focuses on tracking the giant sea bass.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If you aren't familiar with the giant sea bass, they are known as the king of the kelp forest.
And for good reason.
Right. These are massive, critically endangered apex predators that can grow to the size of a refrigerator. In the early 1900s, they were nearly fished to extinction. But Molly Morris isn't just tagging them with, like, old-school radio trackers.
No, the Benioff lab is using advanced computer vision algorithms, essentially artificial intelligence, to track them.
Which is insane to think about.
It really is. Tracking a refrigerator-sized fish across the vast three-dimensional space of the Pacific Ocean is a logistical nightmare. Kelp forests are murky, the light is constantly refracting, and, traditional tracking is highly invasive.
Right, so instead of trying to physically catch and tag them, the AI analyzes underwater photographs. It works almost exactly like the facial recognition software on your smartphone.
Which is brilliant.
The algorithm is trained to look through the visual noise of the murky water, find the fish, and identify the unique spot patterns on the side of individual giant sea bass. Every fish has a spot pattern as unique as a human fingerprint.
It is a massive technological leap for conservation. It allows university researchers to track individual movements, territorial habits, and population recovery without ever touching the animal.
But the AI is only half the equation.
Right, exactly. An algorithm needs data. It needs thousands and thousands of photographs to be accurate. Where do you get that kind of volume when deploying a team of scientific divers is incredibly expensive?
You crowdsource it.
Yep.
They're getting these thousands of photographs from everyday recreational scuba divers.
It is a brilliant symbiotic relationship. Scuba divers are down there exploring the Channel Islands anyway, taking pictures for their own enjoyment.
Right, they're already down there.
Yeah, so they submit these photos to the database, and the algorithm does the heavy lifting. It scales the data collection infinitely, turning every weekend tourist with an underwater camera into a vital research assistant.
That is the ultimate community-driven conservation. You are down there having a great time on your weekend, and you inadvertently help save a critically endangered species just by sharing a photo.
Exactly.
It proves that human recreation and environmental stewardship don't have to be at odds. They can actually fuel each other.
And that balance is exactly what makes the modernization of the Channel Islands harbor so compelling.
Okay, so we've looked at the underlying blueprints, we've broken down the experiential retail mechanics of the new villages, and we've explored the cutting-edge science happening right off the coast.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Let's get practical. We set out on a mission to show you why you should spend an entire day down at the harbor right now. So, based entirely on our local sources, let's map out the perfect full-day itinerary from dawn to dusk.
I am ready. Where are we starting the morning?
It has to be Sunday morning at the farmers market at Marine Emporium Landing. This isn't just a few pop-up tents. It's a deeply ingrained local tradition, running from 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m.
It's fantastic.
You have commercial fishermen selling sea urchin, box crabs, and fresh fish. And because the commercial marina is just steps away, you're looking at a 0-mile supply chain.
The freshness is completely unmatched, but the prepared food is where the real draw is.
Absolutely.
Oh.
The local sources are highly specific about this. You have to walk through the market and look for the big blue tarp.
The blue tarp, yes.
That is the Williams family booth. They're serving fish tacos and a homemade ceviche that locals claim is the best on both sides of the Mississippi River.
That is a bold culinary claim.
It is. But considering the fish was likely swimming in the ocean a few hours prior, I believe it.
Oh, for sure. So you've had your morning coffee, you've walked the promenades watching the sea lions, and you had world-class ceviche under blue tarp.
Sounds like a great morning.
Now it is midday, and it is time for action. You can stay on land and rent a classic Surrey quad bike from Wheel Fun Rentals to explore the pedestrian paths, but realistically, you need to get out on the water.
Definitely. Especially because rockfish season just opened.
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah, the local charter, Sissus Go, reported over 3,000 rockfish caught just in this past week alone, plus a really strong count of ling cod.
Wow.
And mechanically speaking, this harbor is uniquely positioned for this. It is known as the gateway to the Channel Islands. You are geographically closer to the islands here than at any other harbor on the coast.
Which makes a huge difference.
Right, which means less time sitting on a boat in transit and more time actually dropping lines in the fruitful fishing holes.
But we do have to consider the barrier to entry here. Deep-sea charter fishing is fantastic, but it requires a full-day commitment and a decent amount of money.
Sure.
What if you aren't an experienced angler, or what if you just have kids with you who want to try it out for an hour?
This brings me to one of my absolute favorite details in the entire stack of sources. What stands out to you, when you think of a typical marina?
Usually it's pretty exclusive.
Right. Usually it is defined by a high socioeconomic barrier. It's expensive yachts, private gates, exclusive yacht clubs. But here, you can walk right up to Huck's Landing at the Marine Emporium landing dock, and for just $10, a kid can get a fishing pole and all the gear they need to fish right off the docks.
That's amazing.
$10.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is the defining characteristic of a successful, modern public space. It is about deep accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the economics of the free parking earlier. Combine that with the free public harbor walks at Seabridge and affordable youth activities like a $10 rod rental. You are completely breaking down the financial walls that usually surround waterfronts.
And it goes beyond just cheap rentals, too. Look at the Real Guppy Outdoors program, led by Kevin Brannon, who's known locally as Community Kev.
Great program.
They focus heavily on educating youth about ocean stewardship. They offer free fishing days at the Wainimi Pier every fourth Sunday, and they even run rod building workshops.
Programs like Real Guppy are vital because they ensure the next generation has a vested interest in the harbor's survival. When a child learns to fish at the Wainimi Pier, they develop an emotional connection to the water.
Right, they care about it.
They grow up to be the adults who vote for water quality initiatives and support the local economy. The development is explicitly designed to be welcoming to everyone, not just the elite.
It changes the entire demographic makeup of the space. So we've engaged in citizen science, we've eaten fresh ceviche, we've got the kids fishing. Now we move into the afternoon and evening. And right now, stretching through May, is prime whale watching season.
The Santa Barbara Channel is an incredibly active migration corridor.
Oh, yeah.
You can jump on a tour with island packers or Channel Islands marine safari adventures. The whales use this channel as a highway, so the density of sightings is incredibly high.
In fact, if you time it right, on Sunday, April 19th, they are hosting the 27th annual celebration of the Whales Festival.
That's a huge event.
It's a massive, free community event with chalk art, interactive booths, and food trucks.
It is a tradition that really highlights the community's reverence for the ocean. And, after a full day of sun, sea lions, and maybe spotting a breaching humpback, you need to cap off the evening with a great dinner.
You have so many options right on the water. You could do anaba sushi for something fresh.
No, that's good.
Or if you want a truly unique culinary experience, Mokeku Brazilian cuisine offers incredible traditional dishes right on the waterfront.
Highly recommend that one.
Or if you happen to be planning this trip a little later, specifically for Mother's Day weekend, there's a fantastic community event happening on May 9th at Zachary Dunes on Mandalay Beach.
Yes, the Pause by the Sea event.
Yes.
It perfectly encapsulates the relaxed, integrated vibe of the area we've been talking about. It's a pet adoption pop-up in the late afternoon where you can meet rescue dogs, directly followed by a free, open-air, beachside movie night at Sugar Beats.
Sounds perfect.
You bring your leashed pup, grab some food, and watch a movie with the sound of the ocean in the background.
It honestly doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean? When you look at the Channel Islands Harbor right now, it isn't just a place you pull off the highway to stretch your legs for 45 minutes.
Not all.
It is a rapidly modernizing, vibrant destination. Between the massive hotel integration, the experiential retail of Carl's Village, the wildlife reclaiming the new marinas, the cutting-edge AIC-based science, and an itinerary that goes from 0 Mile Ceviche to ocean fishing to beachfront movies.
It's a full day.
This is a place you need to spend an entire day exploring right now while it is actively evolving.
It really is a fascinating period of transition. We are watching the real-time mechanics of how a community scales up for the future without erasing its past.
But it does leave us with a final lingering question based on the community groups we saw throughout these sources. As this harbor transforms into a massive, modern tourist destination with 210-room hotels and 11-acre themed villages, what role will the deeply ingrained volunteer community play?
That's the real question.
You have grassroots organizations like the Channel Islands Neighborhood Council constantly fighting for water quality. You have the 400-member local yacht clubs, CIYC and PCYC, who form the backbone of the harbor's social and volunteer life.
That is the ultimate tension of redevelopment. When the heavy machinery leaves and the millions of tourists arrive, will those grassroots organizations and volunteer members be the vital anchors that keep the harbor's authentic local soul intact?
Right.
Or will the sheer scale of the new tourism drown out the local voices?
It is something to seriously consider the next time you're walking those brand new promenades. Go down there, park for free, eat the tacos, look over the edge for the jellyfish, and watch this incredible transformation happen in real time.